Hold this.
Ubisoft just announced that the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time reboot is set to drop in 2026 and is now entering full production. This definitely gets you thinking about a potential Prince of Persia 2 movie. I've got a good feeling this reboot is going to be a hit, so we might be looking at a sequel sooner than we think. As for Prince of Persia 2, it doesn't have to stick to the Forgotten Sands storyline. Jordan Mechner mentioned that the film can have its own plot, saying, "I don't think the movie and the game need to come back together into lockstep." So, let's dive into everything we know about Prince of Persia 2. First off, for those who might not remember, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is a 2010 action fantasy flick directed by Mike Newell. The screenplay was written by Boaz Yakin, Doug Miro, and Carlo Bernard, and it's based on the video game series created by Jordan Mechner. The movie features stars like Jake Gyllenhaal, Ben Kingsley, Gemma Arterton, and Alfred Molina, and it adapts the 2003 video game of the same name published by Ubisoft, along with elements from its sequels Warrior Within and The Two Thrones. It premiered in London on May 9, 2010, and hit theaters in the US on May 28, released by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Critics had mixed feelings about it. Some thought it was an upgrade over previous video game adaptations, praising the score, action scenes, humor, and performances. However, they didn't love the screenplay or its departure from the original material. Despite this, the film made over $336.4 million against a budget of $150 to $200 million, becoming the highest-grossing video game adaptation until Warcraft took that title in 2016. Now, as for how a sequel could still happen, it's important to remember that the original movie only borrowed elements from Warrior Within and The Two Thrones. But there's a whole treasure trove of other games to adapt, like Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, which offers fresh storylines and characters. Jordan Mechner has mentioned that the movie and the game don't need to match up perfectly, so that opens up a lot of creative freedom. The plot of The Forgotten Sands actually fits nicely between The Sands of Time and Warrior Within, making it a perfect candidate for a sequel. The game features the prince facing off against an ancient army while dealing with themes of power and sacrifice, all wrapped in stunning visuals and action-packed sequences. This could provide a rich narrative for the filmmakers to explore, allowing them to create new adventures while still staying true to the essence of the franchise. Bringing back familiar faces like Jake Gyllenhaal could reignite interest and nostalgia for fans of the first film. They could expand on the character arcs, introduce new allies or enemies, and dive deeper into the prince's journey and the consequences of wielding the Sands of Time. With Ubisoft's renewed interest in the franchise and the potential for a sequel, we could see a fresh take on this beloved story that appeals to both old fans and newcomers alike. If done right, a sequel could blend classic elements with new adventures, creating a compelling narrative that brings the Prince of Persia back to the big screen. With Jake Gyllenhaal now a big name in Hollywood, a sequel to Prince of Persia would definitely catch attention, especially considering Disney's current trend of rebooting and reviving older films. Given how they've been turning beloved classics into fresh adaptations, reviving Prince of Persia could be a smart move. Gyllenhaal's star power, combined with a new story and modern filmmaking techniques, could really draw in audiences. Plus, with nostalgia for the original film and a new generation discovering the franchise, a sequel could appeal to both old fans and newcomers alike. As for the story they could adapt, the games offer some intriguing plot lines. The overarching narrative follows the prince, son of King Shahraman, and dives into his adventures during the 7-year gap between the Sands of Time and Warrior Within. This period is crucial for showing how this worldview shifts through various challenges. In one version, the prince is sent to learn leadership from his brother Malik, only to find their city under siege. They inadvertently unleash Solomon's army, a powerful supernatural force, while trying to fight back against invaders. This sets off a chain reaction of events that leads to Malik being influenced by dark powers, and the prince having to confront his brother in a heartbreaking finale. Other versions of the game explore different themes, like the prince teaming up with a djinni named Zara to fight a sentient plant in a ruined kingdom, or even navigating a prophecy while battling a fire spirit. Each of these stories could offer a rich foundation for a sequel, with plenty of action, moral dilemmas, and character development. By focusing on these adventures, a sequel could delve into the prince's growth and the relationships he builds, especially with Malik and the genie Razia. There's a lot of potential for emotional depth, epic battles, and stunning visuals, making for a captivating film that honors the original while carving out its own identity. By weaving together these narratives, a sequel could highlight the prince's struggles with leadership, loyalty, and sacrifice. For instance, the tension between the prince and Malik could provide an emotional core, showing how familial bonds can be tested in the face of great power and temptation. The introduction of characters like Razia could add layers to the story, emphasizing themes of sacrifice and redemption. Visually, the film could capitalize on the stunning settings and supernatural elements from the games. Imagine breathtaking sequences featuring the prince navigating ancient ruins, battling ethereal enemies, and wielding magical powers, all enhanced by modern CGI. The action could blend acrobatics and swordplay, staying true to the original game's dynamic gameplay. Moreover, the film could explore the consequences of unleashing Solomon's army, delving into the chaos that ensues and the moral complexities of wielding such power. This would not only provide thrilling action scenes, but also a chance for deeper character development as the prince confronts the ramifications of his choices. On the flip side, we're definitely in the era of reboots, with Disney leading the charge. They're taking beloved animated classics like Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler, and turning them into live-action adaptations. Plus, there's the upcoming Moana live-action film, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson back in the spotlight. This trend might mean that Disney could reboot the Prince of Persia franchise with a fresh cast, potentially giving it a new spin while still honoring the original. With new actors stepping in, they could introduce a different interpretation of the prince and his world, which could attract a younger audience unfamiliar with the original film. It would be a chance to bring in fresh talent while exploring updated themes and storylines that resonate today. Whether they choose to continue the story from the previous film or start anew, there's definitely potential for exciting adventures in the Prince of Persia universe. Whether through a direct sequel or a reboot, the franchise has room to evolve, and Disney seems poised to take that leap. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate this landscape and what new stories they choose to tell. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. And what do you think? Should Disney reboot Prince of Persia with a fresh cast, or would you prefer a sequel with Jake Gyllenhaal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.